Today is a new opportunity to accomplish your incredible. So let's wake up each day with a fresh mindset necessary for you to win. I welcome you to Rise and Shine. Morning motivation for the girl boss with author, speaker, and founder of the Prestige Society, Nicole Doss. Let's jumpstart your morning now. Hey, rise and shine, awesome girl bosses. This is your girl, Nicole Doss, and I am just so happy that we get to have another opportunity to just chat and learn and grow and just get motivated with one another. So happy Monday. I hope that you are actually excited this Monday. And if you're not, then this is why we are going to talk about the word that we're going to explore today. So let's just jump right into it. Just fixing my pen here. If you find that Mondays are mundane for you, if you find that Mondays are not exciting for you, that you dread waking up on Monday morning to head to the office, let's really begin to shift how we think about Mondays. So today, our word that we're going to explore is innovation. That's right. And let's just keep it in the true form of how we normally explore words, and that's keeping it in the present tense of a verb. So today's word is going to be innovate. So every now and then I like to go and look up definitions of the words. I like to see the origin of the words so we can make sure that we're really applying them to our businesses and to our lives correctly. So if we look at it, innovation just simply means to make changes in something already established by introducing something new, such as methods, ideas, or products. This word derives from the Latin word innovat or innovare, which in means into and novare meaning new. So making something that's new. I think that's important for us to really begin to look at because, you got to think about this. How often do we think of things that are new for our business? And if we aren't thinking about things that are new, if we aren't thinking about ways to innovate, then I want you to understand that you're not giving your audience or your customer base anything exciting to look forward to. Innovation is definitely key. Creating something new, establishing something new, making a product that is new is very important. And of course, the other part of it is not just making it, right? But it's bringing it to market. It's really establishing a narrative or a story behind it so people understand what this new thing is. And then, of course, it further helps them to be able to support it and in a way that they can purchase it. So what's so funny is I really do focus on innovation a lot, because I'm always asking myself, what else can I do? I get bored very quickly. And so because I get bored very quickly, I'm not normally comfortable with just the same old thing every day, every month, every year. And so I'm always asking myself, what new challenge can we do? What new products can I create? And, what new movement can I start? And so, what's so funny is even Level Up was me thinking about what can I do that's new that can really excite the girl boss. So doing the Level Up challenge and doing the free Level Up video course, all those things are created just so we can create some excitement, a higher vibration of getting women excited about how to think differently about their brands. But then when I think about my planner, I literally ask people who use the planner every week, and to be specific, I ask this in the Boss Life Planner. What new business idea do you want to work on for the week? So at the very top of the page every week, there is a place for you to be able to capture new business ideas. And it's not because, I think your ideas are old and mundane, but it's to really put innovation at the forefront of your mind without using the word innovation. Because if I use the word innovation, now you're thinking it has to be something technical or something over the top or over the moon. Maybe something that can have the ability to solve world peace or world hunger. And that's not the case. It's just establishing a new method or a new idea or a new product. That is the definition of innovation. This is why we go back to the definition of the word, because sometimes we begin to either completely strip down words to mean absolutely different, something different than what it really means, or we really begin to layer on top of it our own understanding, which makes the word a lot more complicated in its definition than what it's truly designed to be. So when we think innovation, we think things like the Apple phone, or maybe drones, or maybe the use of a flat screen TV. Making and creating a flat screen TV, not using one per se. We think of more technological, more hard, more, over the top type of a thing, not thinking of innovation as simplistic as creating something new or making changes in something that's already established. And when you begin to think of it in that simplicity alone, then you think of innovation very differently. You're inspired to be innovative because now it's just about what else can you bring that's new to market. And you do it with less fear, saying, oh, it's not innovative enough, because at the end of the day, the true basis of innovation means just to make changes to something or to introduce something new. And that, my love, you can do consistently with your brand. And so I want most people, because everyone's not in this space. A lot of people may not be in this space where they want to think of something new because they may find that they're in a stagnant space with their business. But I want you to really begin to find some freedom in dreaming big and thinking differently, and really asking yourself, how can you best serve your demographic, your tribe? So I'm going to, of course, give you some 4 tips to how you're going to do this. We're going to start today because Monday really should be that day when you're really thinking about, what can I do differently this week that I have not done last week? What are some things that I really need to tap into that I have not had the opportunity to tap into yet? What are some things that I need to do to challenge my mind so I can think differently, so that I can provide something new to my audience? So this is like, what better way to start your week off than to think about innovation on a Monday? And that should get you excited about your Mondays more than anything else. So let's just jump right into it. The first thing I want you to do is a brain dump. What are some of the things that you think of instantly that you should be kind of working on that you haven't yet, that have been in the back of your mind that you haven't really done just yet? Write it down. Do a brainstorm. I call these things brain dumps, and I call them brain dumps because they do not require a whole lot of thinking time. If you find that you're in a space of overanalyzing it, then you are doing way too much. I need you to be in a space where you're just like, I had this idea, I'm going to write it down. I'm not asking you to think about how you're going to execute it just yet. I'm not asking you how can you get it done. I'm not asking you about the resources it's going to require for you to pay for it to get it done. I just want to know, what is it that you want to do? That's it. That's it. Because we can come up with so many different ways to keep us from doing something if we overanalyze it. I got to tell you, I can't tell you how many women tell me how they can't afford to write a book until I explain to them how much it actually costs for you to write a book. Like, it doesn't cost you anything. It may cost you a few dollars for you to get someone to edit it, but you can go to Fiverr and find someone that's pretty decently priced. But to write a book, it costs you absolutely nothing. It costs you your time to sit down and write the book. That's it. It takes you your time to create a workbook or to create something that's going to help people create something, but it's not going to be at all something that is going to cost you thousands of dollars to create. So when you overthink your brain dump, you think of more or less ways to keep you from writing it down, as if writing it down makes it real. Writing it down means you have to do it. So just be free in that moment and just write down all the things you want to be able to capture. Even if it's things that you introduced to the market before, but you didn't get a lot of attention, or a lot of people weren't receptive to the idea. maybe the innovation for you lies in reworking that original thought. There's some really awesome things that I saw that have been introduced to the market this year from some girl bosses where I literally thought to myself, if the price was just a little bit different, I think someone would definitely clamor at the idea because honestly, it's about a person seeing sustainability. If you start talking about things you're going to introduce to market that's going to require a monthly cost, the one thing people need to ask themselves is, can this demographic afford to pay for this on a monthly basis? And if they can't, then guess what? People are going to be afraid to start paying for that thing. So maybe the thing is, doing an introductory pricing where it's just a little bit lower, or maybe you scale back on a little bit of what you provide so that way you can equate the cost and the value, meaning, the cost for you to do the job should be less than the price of what you're charging to do the job. And then that price should actually be lower than the value from the customer can see from it. So, really make sure that you're looking at cost, price, and value when you're doing these particular new things that you're introducing to market that's requiring this innovative mindset when you're doing your brain dump. So, number one, do your brain dump. Number two, pick the top three things that excite you. Do not pick the thing you think you should do. You will never do it. You will always find a reason to push it off in the future of when you should do something. So do not pick that thing you think you should do. Pick the top three things that give you immense joy. What are the three things that make you so happy? What are the three things that make you feel like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited? Like, pick those three things and work towards it. Number three, figure out how to get started. So I think a lot of times, there's like two different people in the world. There's either the people who get excited about an idea and jump right into action, or there's people who kind of have an idea and sit on it and they aren't really sure how to move forward. These individuals I find extremely intriguing because I am the person that gets excited about an idea and I just jump right into action. The only time I probably sit on an idea is if I'm not really sold on the idea, if I'm not really in love with the idea. At that time, I either try to fall back in love with it or I put it to the wayside. I gotta tell you, Tribe, which is my latest publication that's coming out very shortly, I at some point in time fell out of love with it and sat on it for probably a good 3-4 months. And then I kind of forced myself in December to fall back in love with Tribe. And when I did, it was like being reconnected with that long lost love. So, pick the three things that spark joy, even if you have to get reconnected with it. But if you reconnect with it and it's still not sparking joy, you leave that thing right there on that piece of paper. Do not try to execute because you're not going to be able to move into the space of number three of figuring out how to get started. Okay, so how do you get started is probably your question. Easy. You just pick a task that you need to do to start. It's that easy. When we say it again, I got you. You pick the thing that you need to do that will just make you get started. You got it? You want to write a book? Start typing today. Write out a storyboard. What do your chapters look like? What's the objective of your book look like? How is it going to take you from beginning to end? If you're going to teach people how to cook, what do they need to know before they get in the kitchen? What do they need to know before they start buying the ingredients? What do they need to do before they take the ingredients out and begin to cook? What utensils do they need to prepare? Just break it down in sequential order so that when the reader is reading the book, it's not going all over the place. It's taking them from beginning to end. And start writing. That's it. Get a schedule. How many words do you need to write a day? And just work towards it. It's really that simple. Anything that you use as an excuse to say it's not that simple is just an excuse to hold you back. It is something that your gremlin is trying to tell you you cannot do, you cannot achieve. But for the most part, how you get started is just taking one step forward in that area and just keep taking steps until you get closer to your end goal. And my last and final step to being innovative on a Monday is get started now. If you're if you're in number 4 or number 3 where it's, figuring out how to get started, and you have placed a time or a date for you to get started, let's say 3 weeks from now, it's either the wrong thing that you're trying to accomplish, or there is some fear that's holding you back. And I too, and let me explain to you, I too was like that. It wasn't until I worked with a coach by the name of Adriana Langford that I realized that I too used to do that, because she gave me a challenge. I was like, oh yes, in 2 years. Yep, I said in 2 years. And she was like, yeah, how about in December? I was like, wait, what? That's like 3 months from now. So when people really, hear that they want to do something in their minds, for some reason, we feel like giving it this really far off date means that it's definitely going to happen because we have all this time to make it work. The reality is, the further you put it off, the more likely the chances are you're not going to accomplish it at all, because you have all this time. And so you're going to begin to procrastinate, and everything else in life is going to take precedence. And life happens. Life happens regardless of a goal that you create. Life happens regardless of an idea that you may have. You get pregnant, you lose a loved one, you lose your job, you go bankrupt. Like, things happen regardless of this great idea that you have. So pushing it off just really decreases your chances of being able to get it done. So when I tell you, or I share with you, number 3 is figuring out how to get started, and number 4 is getting started now. Really challenge yourself. If you feel innately like you just want to kind of make it a 3, like, oh, I'll get started in 3 weeks, I'll get started in 4 weeks. If you really feel that happening, push yourself to say, no, how do I get started now? All right? All right, guys. So on this wonderful day where we're going to explore innovation, remember, the first thing you want to do is really have a brain dump. Take all of those wonderful ideas and put them on paper. Why? Because innovation really just means making changes to something that's already established, or introducing something new, such as methods, ideas, or products, or even services. So put a brain dump of all those awesome ideas on a piece of paper. Once you do that, pick those top 3 things that excite you. Excite is the key word. Number 3, you're going to figure out how to get started. Number 4, you're going to figure out how to get started right now. All right, guys, I hope this gives you some innovation, some excitement, some motivation for a Monday morning. Have a wonderful, awesome, and most of all, blessed day. Bye.